Okay, so while it's a little later than usual, I have seen the new episode of Pokemon. I have seen the new episode of Northern War, so I'm going to go and talk about and give my quick thoughts on them. So starting with Pokemon, I was not a big fan of this episode. I didn't hate it by any means. I thought it was fine, but it's... I would say for the most part, it's not what I've been... sorry, the sun is setting. I'm trying to get a good... Okay, that's a better angle because now the sun's not coming directly in, so we'll see how this is. I think this was not what I was really looking for Aim to be a Master, this particular episode, but there are some elements of it that I really liked. Notably the fact that Ash ends up befriending a Rattata and a Spearow, and those, okay, so basic plot of the episode is Ash and Pikachu ends up getting separated because Team Rocket's shenanigans. It is an episode where Pikachu and Meowth have to hang out together and survive and get back to their crew, and Meowth's like, Pikachu, let's be friends, let's not do anything crazy, while Thingnoom's like, I'm gonna use this to get close to Pikachu so I can catch her, which we've seen before. I'm pretty sure this is like the third or fourth time we've had an episode like this. Hell, maybe it even happens once a series. It happens way more than I actually give it credit for. But it's not a particularly new idea for the show. So while I don't dislike these kinds of episodes, I am kind of like, we only have 11 episodes. And at this point now, we have quite a bit less. So we're just doing this again? Okay. We did not see any returning Pokemon from Ash. We're going to get that next week. We got it last week with Squirtle. We're getting it next week with Lapras, but no one in this one. Did we get any recurring traveling companions? Nope. Still just Misty and Brock. Okay, so there's no real closure with an old friend. Either a Pokemon old friend or a human old friend. Did we get to see any of his Pokemon in rotation? Well, we saw Snivy, and that was it. We only got one. I think it's fucking weird that he's only been traveling with 5 Pokemon, because even if they're literally just here for fan service, because that's all it is, you can have 6 so we get more screen time for people. Like, they're not doing a whole lot but standing around. You can probably just have one more, and in this episode, we only got one of them. It's pretty disappointing. Again, like, we're running low on episodes here. I want to make sure we kind of see everyone. It looks like the next episode is going to have Sirfetch'd in it, which I like his Sirfetch'd a lot. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to hate on him, but I am like, he kind of had a whole series to get a lot of screen time. I really want it to be a lot of the other ones. Like, I know Kingler, Bayleaf, Heracross. I think we saw another... No, yeah, because it's those 3, Sirfetch'd and Pikachu. That's the crew in the next episode. Like, cool. 3 of those are really good picks. Like, Pokemon I haven't seen in a long time. I want to see what they're doing. What are they up to? Pikachu, he's always going to be there. But, I mean, we saw a lot of Sirfetch'd already in Journeys. Can we get, like, I don't know, Totodile, Scraggy, Gibble? And, I mean, but like I said, like, there were some things in the episode I did like. One, when they're separated, there's a scene where Pikachu is looking up at the moon, and he just kind of sees a lot of different flashbacks, and there's one for every, like, series of the show. And you see all the different art styles. Like, that's a really cool idea. I liked that a lot. That feels like a nice kind of bookend on just the bond of Ash and Pikachu. Also, the fact that 2 of the Pokemon that are really trying to help Ash out in this episode to get reunited with his buddy are a Rattata and a Spearow. Which, if you've seen the first episode of the show, or if you remember the first episode of the show, we all remember the flock of Spearow, and literally one gets hit with a rock and has a giant thing on its head, and there's a whole flock of them. We're like, okay, that's a big callback. The Rattata is not as easily memorable, but it's something I remember. He got attacked by a Pidgey, and I specifically remembered Dexter, the Pokedex, going, Pidgey's Gust Attack creates tornadoes. It also has a Sand Attack. A sand! And then Ash gets, like, some sand kicked at his face. It's either right before or right after. There's a Rattata that, like, goes into his bag, steals some of his food, and runs off. And then his Pokedex is just like, yeah, Rattatas take food from stupid trainers. And Ash just looks all depressed. He's like, are you saying I'm stupid? Which is really funny, but, like, the poor bastard. But The fact that at least 2 of those 3 Pokemon, the Spearows and then the Rattata, so not the Pidgey, but 2 out of 3 were in this episode, I thought was a nice callback. But with what I'm wanting from this show, I want closure. I want to see all of the old Pokemon that are in rotation at like Oak's Lab, Alola, all that shit. I want to see all the companions, and I want to have a moment with all of the Pokemon that have been released or kind of left somewhere. That's what I am personally looking for. This episode gave me no old human companions, no previously left behind Pokemon, and only 1 Pokemon in the reserves. It's not, and it's also a plot like I have seen in the show itself before. And I mean, granted, there's been like 1,200 fucking episodes. You're gonna repeat shit. Like, it's going to happen, but was not bad, and there was stuff in there I liked. It just didn't really appeal to me. Like, I know I've said that the Beartic episode was pretty fillery because, you know, it had returning Pokemon, but alright, no closure with an old friend, again, either human or released Pokemon. But I really liked the episode. Like, I really liked the Beartic itself. This was like, okay, like, what's the new Pokemon that we're really focusing on getting to know? We're not. It's just Pikachu and Meowth, who've had like 1,200 episodes of the show that we've gotten to know, and we've seen them in this exact situation. So it was fine. But next week, we're going to get some Pokemon in rotation. We're going to get to see Lapras. So it's like, cool. I get to check off some boxes, and it'll probably be an episode where I'm like, it gave me the fan service and shit I want. Yay, because this is the epilogue of the show. I kind of want my fan servicey shit, I'm not gonna lie. It's weird how Journeys was essentially all fan service and still didn't give a lot of it. Like, it was kind of this weird combination of, this is shit you've all really wanted, but also, yeah, we're gonna not have an episode where he reunites with May. He's gonna talk to Serena for like 2 seconds. We're going to see Greninja, but he's not going to catch it back. But we're also not going to go visit, like, Larvitar and see it again. Or Haunter and Sabrina, which is something I've really wanted for a long time. Like, as soon as they're like, oh yeah, you're going to battle old gym leaders and shit, I'm like, I can't wait for the fucking Sabrina shit. I can't wait to see that Haunter be a Gengar and, like, wreck his shit like a Gengar fight. That sounds really cool. Oh, I guess we're not doing that. Okay. But as many problems as I had with Pokemon Journeys, but just I kind of shit on it, the Leon fight's really good. It's like, I have like nothing, okay, I have a little bit bad to say about the Leon fight, but I'm not going to get into that here. I think I talked about it a bit, as he misplayed with the way he used Cinderace, like use your Super G-Max move, because it'll be like really cool and do big damage to Pikachu. It's like, yeah, but you could have just had him use Scorching Sands again and then turn into a ground type, and then he would have been immune to Pikachu's electric attacks. So you misplayed hard, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm rooted for Ash, but man, what you did was fucking dumb, Leon. But anyways, episode was fine. Now let's move on to Northern War. So my general thoughts on the show, which every time I do like one of these, I'm like, this is what I think of it. I generally say it's fine. If you're a Trails fan, you'll probably more or less get what you'll get what you came for. You'll get your little bit of Northumbria shit. You'll get your cameos. You'll get to hear the music from the game, which I really, really like. But if you're not a Trails fan, you'll probably think it's okay. I liked last week's episode. I felt like it was kind of starting to get somewhere good and interesting. This episode was a continuation of that. I actually liked it quite a bit. I really liked the conversation, excuse me. I believe his name is Marty. I'm not as familiar with the new characters. I know Lavi because she's the protagonist of this. But I think his name is Marty. And his conversation with Lecter. And they're talking about how, alright, so the Empire wants to annex Northumbria. We want it as a fucking territory. Now, we can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way. The easy way is we make you guys an offer to become one of our territories, to work together to make a bright future, a prosperous world, and, all that kind of bullshit. And if you guys say no, well, you can probably guess what the fuck is gonna happen. And Marty's line, or he's like, if you do this, you guys get to be, really affluent. I mean, let's be real. Northumbria could kind of use the support, your country is a shithole. And Marty's response is like, what, you think we should sell our souls for affluence? Lecter's response was cold as fuck, and I loved it. It was like, I'm saying you should sell your souls while they still fetch a high price. Oh, I loved that. I really liked it. Yeah, while you guys still have some value, go for it. Sell, become our friend, become our territory, all that kind of shit. Because if you don't, what are you saying? Are you saying, you guys have some, crazy weapon that can fuck us over? I'll leave that to your imagination. And, yeah, they got Valimar. They got Big V. I don't know what Northumbria has. I can give them a chance against Valimar, and having played Cold Steel 3, I know how this goes. And the short answer is, no, they don't have anything that can fuck with Big V. So I liked that. The end of the episode was, what's his name, Glark or some shit? The current head of Northumbria talks some politics. I'm like, this is shit I love. I love it when, I love getting into politics in a work of fiction. It's why I'm really enjoying Love of the Day After. And it's very similar politics here. He's telling Laffy, it's all right, so this is some of the shit that happened of trying to, unite the tribes of the Northern Jaegers and all that shit. After Valestein died, there was kind of this power gap, and I had to make some moves to unite us, and your grandfather was the scapegoat, but he understood and he was kind of okay with it. You are his granddaughter. Your grandfather's name commands a lot of respect, and if you don't use that to your advantage, someone else will. I'm like, this is straight out of The Day After. I love that shit. It's you are a hero. Everyone sees you as such. If you want to make a change in the world, like you keep saying you do, weaponize that shit. Because other people will. And if you, if they might use you for their own machinations that you might not even agree with, take advantage while you fucking can. I really like that. There are also a lot of cameos in this episode. So we got Reen hanging out with Elliot and the Mac Man. So Clay and I, in all of our Cold Steel playthroughs, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then me because I played Reverie, we just did not use Machias. When he was there in the party because no one else was, sure, but we just could not really build him right. Is he? I think I've said it before in my just Trails reviews in general. Evade tanks are awesome. Pure damage tanks, for me, do not work super well. And I always kind of felt like Machias is a support tank. And, he's got some of his crafts can be really good. Any acceleration craft is fucking busted. Acceleration orders are stupid, holy shit. But acceleration crafts are absolutely amazing. Excuse me. But, aside from that, I was I don't feel like there's anything Machias really provides to my team that someone else can't do and someone else can't do better. So I didn't really use him a whole lot. Clay didn't use him a whole lot. But we kind of have this running joke that Machias is actually one of the most badass characters in the entire series. And oh yeah, if we did use him, the game would have been super busted. That's the Mac Man. You don't fuck with the Mac Man. When he shows up, he's kicking everybody's ass. So anytime Machias shows up, I get ironically hyped, but I also genuinely like his character. He's not one of my favorites because I feel in Cold Steel 1, when you actually get to know him, he's really interesting. And then the spotlight's just never on him again, but I still like him. So I was happy to see him, and I love Elliot. I actually really like his story in Cold Steel 1 and 2, and then after that, he's just not important, the poor kid. But I was happy to see him. We got a Sarah sighting, which was backstory. It's cool, we get to see Sarah. Oh, this is backstory. Oh, this is when her dad died. Oh, that's not fun. I wanted to see Sarah, do cool shit, not having to get saved by her dad just before her dad died in her arms. Okay. We got like a nice little photo of all of Class 7 and some of their friends are like, we got a Toa sighting. Hell yeah, let's go. Top tier shit, best cameo in the show. I know we just got Maggots, I know we just got the Mac Man, this is the best cameo in the show. Then a little bit later, they show some of the characters from the All Girls Academy. I'm like, oh shit, it's Alphen. Love Alphen. Alphen's great. Oh, they had to show Elise. Oh, I hate this character. I hate everything about her. Why are you here? Also, who's this green-haired person? Because like it took me a second to realize it was Muse, because I'm so used to seeing her in her in either her Lady Mildine dress, because that's the outfit I had her in Cold Steel 4. I fucking love it. It is like a nice looking dress. I love the long hair. Like that look is dope as shit. Or just her regular Thor's outfit. So seeing her in this, what is it, Saint Astrea, like seeing her in that uniform, did not recognize her for a second. I was like, who the fuck is this green hair chick? Who is, oh, that's my homegirl. Like, this is one of my favorite characters. Hell yeah. Now I feel really bad that I didn't recognize her, but hey, I mean, we got 2 really good cameos in that scene, and one I wish wasn't even in the series in the first place. Then we get the very end of the episode. We get the end credit scene where, speaking of more cameos, so we get another Campanella sighting, and anytime Campanella shows up, I get really hyped. I genuinely think he is a fun and entertaining character. His boss fight in Azure is peak shit. I mean, I guess technically both of them, because there's the actual boss fight near the end of the game, but then there's the Palm Party boss fight, which I count, and it's so fucking fun. And the fact that it plays like a 8-bit Palmto version of Fateful Confrontation is so genius. I love that shit so much. Mwah. I think his fights in Cold Steel 3 and 4, I think there is technically a fight with him in Reverie, but they're okay. They're not bad, but the way he fights in Azure, where he's just not giving a shit, and even like his entire fight strategy is just trolling, is so funny and so in character. I love it so much. But even when he's not fighting, I just like his cutscenes. I think he's a very fun character, as I've said. But I also know when Campanella shows up, that's when shit starts to go down. Because that's when Ouroboros is being very active. That's when things fucking matter. Because it means the Grandmaster has her eyes on a situation. It's like, I need my boots on the ground. You go and tell me everything that happens. So, like, an episode ending with Campanella, I was like, I'm getting excited. He's like, all right, everyone, take a good long look at Northumbria, because you're not going to see this place ever again. It's like, look at how pretty it is. This is not going to last. I'm like, all right, shit's going down. That's cool. I wonder who's with him. And I see fucking Doobly. I'm like, what's this bitch doing here? Like, no, that's not what I said. I think I said, what is this asshole doing here? Doobs is, to me, she's the opposite of Lecter and Claire, in that I really like Lecter and Claire until Cold Steel 4, and I just don't like the way they're written in that game. Whereas Doobs is such an annoying character. Okay, she's doesn't really do much in Azure. Annoying as hell in Cold Steel 2. Annoying in Cold Steel 3, but has some good moments. And then, as I've said before, the Hommel scene with her and Shirley is one of my favorite scenes in the entire series. I have cried every time I've seen it. Gotta give her credit for that. And then in Cold Steel 4, she goes from being like annoying, but I guess she kind of has her redeeming moments to, you just became one of the best characters in the entire game. Holy shit, you are so interesting, so much more likable. You are fantastic. So as much as I'll kind of make fun of her and still like shit on her, I really like Doobs, and I'm happy to see her again. And the other Stall Ritter like show up, they make silent cameos. Blue Blanc is here. He was in like a couple episodes previously. Was it the last one? No, because the last one was the Iron Blood episode. It was 2 episodes before that. He makes a cameo, and I was just happy to see him. Now it looks like he's going to be doing shit. That makes me happy. And then we got the best cameo in the series. It is not seeing Sarah. It's not the Mac Man. It's not Toa. It's not Muse. It wasn't seeing Ash where it rocketed his fucking glasses a couple episodes ago. It's not seeing Blue Blanc. It's not seeing Campanella. It was seeing Gilbert. Gilbert showing up on screen made me laugh so hard. Man did not do anything funny. Man did not say anything funny. Just seeing him fills me with so much joy. This character is so fucking funny because of just how much of a joke he is in every scene he is in, starting from SC onwards. His boss fights are incredible. Not because they're super hard, not because they're super fun, but they're so goofy. I can't wait to see Gilbert actively doing shit in this show. I can't wait. Like, I have no idea if Estelle and Joshua are showing up because I don't think they're mentioned as taking part in the Northern War. I really don't, because if I remember correctly, I think come Cold Steel 3, they're legitimately banned from coming into Eremonia. Maybe the Northern War is actually going to be the reason why. But I'm like, oh man, I just want to see Estelle and Joshua run into this asshole again. And if we actually get to hear Estelle say time for ultra violence, I would be so happy. I'm not expecting it. I feel like that's important. If I don't get Estelle and Joshua, if Estelle doesn't show up and say the line, I'm not going to be upset. But I just really want it. But now that I know Gilbert is here, I'm just looking forward to seeing him get clowned on in every scene he plays a major part in. Thank you so much, Northern War, for giving me more Gilbert